Can I get a moment of your time? Well, alright. Bankhead, I see you, partner. From the interviews to the news to your favorite tunes, you cannot lose when you're tuned into Straight Out the Trunk Radio. Hit me, From the interviews to the news, that's your favorite tunes, Straight Out the Trunk. They got what you want now. Get your body go to sleep, and when you brush your teeth, when you first wake up, turn your radio up. Straight out the trunk now. Straight out the trunk. You are now listening to Straight Out the Trunk. Put your seat back, turn your radio up. Straight out the trunk. You are now tuned in and you're rocking with the best. Straight out the trunk. Everybody tuned in, let me hear you say Straight out the trunk. 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 Straight out the trunk.
What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up, world? It's your girl Shaded. Welcome back for another SODTR interview. I want to introduce you to our special guest today, curator, songwriter, hostess, the girl with the golden afro, Kijafa.
Hey,
welcome.
Hey,
welcome.
How are you?
Oh, how are you?
I'm good. I'm feeling real good. Happy to be here.
That's
Excited
what I'm talking about.
to be here.
That's what I'm talking about. I'm excited as well. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Man, thank you for having me.
No problem. No problem. We appreciate you for coming and lending your time. You know, getting through that LA traffic and getting on over here.
At 405.
Right. Okay. As they would say, the slow 05.
Oh, the slow 05. But
Okay.
it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be.
Okay.
But it still had its moments.
Okay. That's okay. But we here safely, and that's what counts.
Amen.
That's what counts. Amen. Okay. Okay. So we gonna get into your story a little bit. Okay. So we started. We got some gospel roots, correct?
Yes.
That's correct. So we started in the church. Mm-hmm. Okay. So how did and we moved over to Long Beach, Jordan, correct? Mm-hmm. Or are we singing in the gospel or singing in the choir and like at school at Long Beach, Jordan at the same time?
Ever since I was little, it's been church choir, school choir.
Got
so
it.
Even elementary, middle school, high school.
Got it.
It's been always like that. Gospel has, and still to this day.
Okay.
The gospel is still there.
Got you. Gospel is always going to be sprinkled in some kind of way.
Yes.
Okay. So how was the transition from? Because, I mean, I grew up in the church a little bit too. Mm-hmm. So a lot of times the transition into, as what we would say, worldly music is not always received the best. So how did that go for you? Or how did you transition into that?
For me, it has been, it's been cool because I know where my roots are.
Okay.
And I don't go too far to the left in my music.
Okay.
So I'm all about positive vibes, spreading light, spreading love.
Okay.
You know, being an example of, survival and consistency, resilience. So the transition for me hasn't been too bad. It's been well received, like by my church family. Okay. I feel like if my grandma, rest in peace, couldn't listen to it, then I probably shouldn't do it.
Okay. I know that's right. That's a good gauge. A good gauge. If Granny didn't like it, it's probably not good. Okay. So that's good. That's a good way to go. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So 2009, we started doing some background vocals for Margot Thunder.
Margot Thunder.
Correct.
Yes.
Okay. So how did you get in transition into that? How did that happen?
So the church I was going to, the church my father grew up in, once I came back from living in the valley, I started going to that church, and I met my husband Demetrius, who was the drummer there.
Okay.
And then he had a band. And his cousin Jazz, who played bass at the same church. Their band was called Mr. Jazz and Soulmatic. And then the organ player, the choir director, his name is A-Tone. He had a group called A-Tone and Team Jesus. And so Soulmatic used to play for Team Jesus. So when I joined the choir, because I saw the little drummer over there, they were kind of cute. I went and sat over there by the drummer. And we connected. We got to know each other, and I actually started singing with A-Tone and Team Jesus as well as Soulmatic. And then through that, we got a gig with Margot Thunder because they already knew her.
Got it.
From years ago of doing things with her. So I was able to start singing with her, and she liked me, as a tenor, and she was even transitioning, you know, with her band and background vocalist. And she, long story short, she kind of let everybody go. Okay. But she told me if I wanted to stay, you could stay. Okay. But she kept Jazz and she kept Somatic. But like the other singers and stuff, she let go. And she was like, but I like you. She's like, if you want to stick around, stick around. So I kept going to rehearsal, even though she didn't have her alto and her soprano. I just went, I'm like, I'm going to learn these songs. And from that, it's just become like a long-term friendship.
Awesome.
Margot Thunder is a beast.
Okay, yes. For those of y'all who don't know, y'all need to do your Googles. Yes. Okay, for those, you know, we probably put some people on today as far as
she's
Thunder.
A beast. She's old school. She was with a group, I believe it was called 6.9. Forgive me if I'm saying it wrong. Okay. But she's done a lot. She sang background for Luther Vandross. You know, she's a heavy hitter like that. So
that's some.
So I learned a lot with her
right
too.
Now. I was just gonna say that's probably a lot of life lessons and just a lot of learning right there.
Yeah, especially vocally, she didn't play no games.
Okay, I bet. If you're working with Luther and stuff like that, you probably you got to be disciplined in some things.
Discipline.
Okay,
yes,
absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. So speaking, I'm glad that you brought up Luther and whatnot. We're gonna talk about some of your notable collabs. Okay. So you work with Stevie Wonder.
I sang background for him for the House Full of Toys. Okay. I was singing with the KJLH choir. Okay. And we were helping, we were singing, and then for 2 songs, they were like, pick 10 people out of this choir. And I was one of the ones selected. And I was kind of shocked because that's like during my earlier years of gigging, you know what I mean? So to be in that 10,
that's amazing.
It was like super, it was crazy. So I'm like, dang. So I'm up there with him and India Ari, and it's just like, wow, you know.
But I think that speaks to your work ethic and just those years prior with Margot Thunder, and you just saying, I'm gonna keep coming. I'm gonna keep learning. I think that makes a difference.
It does.
And that longevity. That's why you still sound amazing.
Thank
even
you.
Better.
I appreciate you. Yeah, it's it looks good. It looks glamorous, and you see, photos and Instagram videos with all these different celebrities. But at home, when the cameras are off and the radio is off and the gigs have kind of slowed down, you have to really decide: am I going to really keep doing this, or why am I doing this? You have to remember your why. Right. You know what I mean? And I always say my gift is not for me. It was a blessing that I was given the gift, but it's for everybody else. So it's like, okay, I can be selfish and just say I give up because things aren't going well right now. Or I can say, you know what, I'm here to help somebody, so I'm going to keep pushing. That's why I keep going. Okay, yeah, we're going to get into that because you got a whole mission statement and stuff, so we're going to get into that too, which is super amazing. Being of service to others is huge. And I think that's, that's a part of our purpose and, just what we can do to serve each other. Right. So, that's an amazing thing that you already know, what you have to give and you give it freely. Yeah, that's amazing. So as far as you also work with Raphael Sadiq. So how was that working with? Because I love me some Raphael Sadiq. Shout out to Tony, R.I.P. to yes, R.I.P. But God bless. Yes, but how was it working with Raphael Sadiq? That was cool. I got there because of Charlie Burrell. Okay. So we were working and writing for this artist, and he called me into the studio. I didn't realize it was Sadiq. Okay. So I get there and I'm just like, whoa, it's a big, beautiful studio, and in walks Sadiq. And I'm like, what? I made it. Yeah, like, I'm here. Yeah, come on. We made it. Come on, whatever you want. Yeah, like, really, like, this is Mr. It's our anniversary himself, Right, exactly. So it was fun because we were doing something different. But he liked what he was hearing, so he came in and kind of sat down. Like, I still have the voice memos in my phone where when we were writing, he was giving me some ideas like, that's cool what you have, but why don't you try this? And he was just giving me a different perspective on songwriting instead of just being like so cliche or, giving them a line they expect. He made me think like, try this. You know what I mean? So it was another learning experience. Yeah. He was so down to earth. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's always great.
Real quick funny story. That was the first time I ever experienced a bidet.
Okay.
So I fell in love with this man's bathroom. And I went in there and I'm like, He has a bidet. And I'm like, it's kind of scared me because I ain't never.
He got money. He got money.
And
for
then
real.
I ain't never used one before, so it kind of shocked me a little bit. I'm like, oh, but the sister is feeling clean.
Hello. That's what they say. Us as Americans, we're dirty for using toilet paper.
Oh, Jesus.
And, especially like Asia and stuff like that, because that's like normal. It's like everywhere. So they say that, it makes a big difference.
It did. Mm-hmm. And I was like, can I just drive back here if I got to use it?
Right. Can you send me one of those?
Right, like where you get this? Can I get this on Amazon?
Exactly.
No, but he was really cool. He was really down to earth. He let us go in his big studio and listen to the stuff he was working on at the time. So, Sadiq, shout out to you. Like he's a super cool dude, and he didn't mind helping and give us some input to help make what I was doing even better.
That's amazing. That's amazing. That's probably another reason why you don't have no storage on your phone. Okay, saving all those memos and pictures and stuff like that. But, that's important to keep. It's important to keep. Get out my business, girl. Get out my business. It's okay. We got to, it's all good. Yeah. So you brought up Charlie Burrell, and he works with Death Row, correct?
Yeah, he just got signed.
And I was just going to say, and you are just on his newest project, and it's called, I think it's called Wherever You Are. Correct? You, this is your first placement with Death Row?
Well, actually, it's not even Wherever You Are. It's a young lady named Jen M.
Okay.
And it was a song. It was one of the songs we were doing back when we were working with Sadiq.
Okay.
And so the artist who they were writing for ended up using it, for somebody else. And Snoop heard, what we were doing once he signed Charlie, and he was like, I want this for her. So that was actually my first placement.
Okay.
It was with Jen, and the song is called I'm Ready. I think I'm ready to fall in love.
Awesome.
And but as far as Wherever You Are, I'm singing backgrounds. Okay. Me and Charlie been working together since about 2017.
Okay. And
we have this like perfect blend when we sing, and sometimes I forget if it was me singing or him singing, you know what I mean? So,
that's dope.
So that's like my second kind of, not placement because I didn't write it, but my second time my voice is on a Death Row.
Listen, look, take your credit where it's due, because listen, there's some people that's wishing they could even get close to a Death Row record. And anyway, that's amazing.
I feel so blessed because once he got signed, when people get signed, you don't know what the label is going to expect. You don't know if they can still use the people they've been using, and so I was like, trying not to get in my feelings, like, is he still gonna keep me? Is he gonna call me? Right. Are they gonna want to go a different direction? Right. But no, we still been working.
That's awesome.
We still been working.
Yeah, that's good that when they're able to keep it authentic, like you said, you never know what the execs and all those the string pullers,
the politics. But it's cool because Charlie literally has brought in the whole camp.
That's awesome.
You know what I'm saying? Like he brought in the whole camp, the band, the singers, the writers, and Snoop loves it. He's like at the first show Charlie did under Death Row, he was like, people come in my studio all the time with thumb drives and computers. No disrespect to that. Yeah. He said, but Charlie maximized it. Like he brought the whole band. Yeah. He got singers, and Snoop was just really impressed with that. So he was like, keep the whole camp. Like do what you do. Call in who you need to call in. And that's like Charlie is he's solid. He's giving all of us, still another chance to get our music heard, get our words listened to and placed, and So shout out to Charlie Burrell.
No, shout out to Charlie Burrell. That's amazing. Yeah, and Snoop and Death Row. Shout out to y'all for sure. Is that why you ended up at you were on the radio at K-Day, or was it?
Now that was something I just happened to be scrolling Instagram. Okay. And I saw CC posted something like, we're gonna give some of our listeners, tickets to come down to the studio. Okay. So that was something I just happened. I said, let me just go ahead. She was like, all you have to do is make sure you're following and tag in the comments who you're gonna bring. And I said, okay, I'm bringing my husband. And so and I went on about my day. And then next thing I know, I get an inbox like, congratulations, you're a winner. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then I'm like, well, let me go make sure this ain't no hacker. Oh, yeah. So I had to go back and look. So I'm like, let me go back and check the original post. Okay. And make sure everything lines up. And so it was legit. Okay. It was legit. So it was really nice.
And that's where Exhibit was in there, right?
Yeah. Okay. It was an actual, like, in studio like this interview with him. I thought it was going to be something where he's performing and we just get to sit back and watch the show. Right. No, he literally came in and did an album release with us. It was just a handful. It probably was like no more than 10 of us that won.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and he played his new album, Kingmaker. So we got to hear it first. Okay. And it was
Okay,
when I tell you, fire.
Okay.
No skips. No like skips. My son always tell me, no skips.
No skips.
And he played it for us, and then we got to, like, it was 4 people who could ask a question, and I was one of the 4, so I got to ask my question. But yeah, so that was just something I just happened to fall into.
Okay,
another blessing.
Well, no, I mean, it aligned perfectly. So I'm like, exhibit, you know, that's what I'm like. So, you know, we doing a press run now. That's what I'm thinking. Come on. I'm manifesting it for you.
It's just the way it's happening. It just, everything is kind of aligning, you know. So because even Cece, the lady that does the what is it called, the afternoon ride, I think, she is gonna be. Sunday we're going to Snoop's studio for the release of Altar Call. Okay. That's the new gospel album he's doing. And she's actually going to be there. Right. So her and I were talking. She was like, oh my God, you going to be there too? And I'm like, yeah. So I kind of made a few connections there too with her and Exhibit. I shot my shot. Yeah. I know that's right. I had to give it up. I'm like, if you ever need them vocals, let me know.
I know that's right. Look, you got to shoot. Look, that's a lesson for everybody. Shoot your shot. If you're in the room, just let them know, hey, by the way, you know, I do BGBs too, just in case. I know that's right. But I think what I'm hearing and what I'm learning is just that you make relationships and you keep them. Like you know, you don't burn bridges. You don't do bad business. You know, can't. Which is important. Which is how you're able to circulate for so long and make new connections and have older people call you call you and things like that.
Because the thing is, your reputation is going to precede you a lot of times. And, they always say people are, mentioning your name in rooms you haven't been in. Yes. Well, what are they mentioning? Right. What's attached to your name? And that, to me, is very important because what I'm trying to do, I need people just as much as they need me. So if I get out here being cocky, arrogant, or, unreliable, that... Yeah, they mentioning your name, but what they mentioning ain't so great. Right, so to me, that's very, very important. People don't have to come buy your tickets and see your show and hear you sing. There's a million singers. That's true. So true. That matters,
especially in LA, child.
It's saturated.
Look, exactly. No, you hit the nail on the head. I think that's a very powerful thing to say. It's like because we do see that meme going around a lot on social media. It's like people are mentioning your names in other rooms, and I think most people, if you're in the right mind, are thinking like, oh, people are saying good things about me, but. You flipped it on its head where it's like if you are doing bad business, if you are being unreliable, if you are being inconsistent, then those are the things that are being said about you in those other rooms versus what you would like to be said, So that's amazing. That's amazing as far as shout out to you and you able to keep these wonderful relationships. You're not trying, you're doing, okay? You're not trying, you're doing. You're not doing at all. So I wanted to talk to you about a few of your songs. Okay. One of them that I personally love, you've sung. I've been able to sing some backgrounds in the in the crowd, but it's They Don't Know. Can you tell us a little bit about that song? Because I liked your message that you gave at shout out to First Sunday.
Shout out to First Sundays, y'all. If you ain't been there, you tripping.
Hello, you better get there. Out of Compton, okay? Yes. And you are from Compton, so shout out to Compton as well. So you talked a little bit about it during, which I love. So I wanted you to share that with us here.
Well, They Don't Know. It's the first single that I've ever released. Okay. And that was at a time, that was in 2017. And Black Thompson, shout out to Black, he produced that for me. Okay. And because he was like, yeah, but you don't have no songs out. And I'm like, no. He was like, come on, just come and we going to get some stuff going. Yeah. So They Don't Know basically came from the fact that people really don't know. When I met my husband, we were both we were both out of divorces for different reasons. And mine was domestic violence. I'll let him tell his story when it's time for him to tell his. But he was basically at a point where he was like, I'm cool. I don't want nothing. And I was like, well, I'm still, receiving. I'm willing to receive love. All men are not the same. So when we met, it was people saying different things. Well, she was in an abusive relationship. You might be careful with her.
And he's a drummer.
He's a drummer. It was just all this stuff. He's a musician. And it was just like, I've always been one to, I make up my own mind. Like, I'll listen to what people say, but I don't listen to what people say. You know what I'm saying? And his thing, he don't like big girls, and I'm like, and I was heavier when we met,
Okay.
so he likes it.
Yeah, right. He didn't like you big. You
like
as a big girl, okay.
But so that song basically for me was just like, they don't know. Everybody can give you an opinion. Everybody can say what they think and what they feel. Yeah. And sometimes it doesn't even come from a place of love. It comes from, you don't know where it's coming from for some people. So you have to be careful and just know that they don't know. What's for you is for you. Yeah. So you have to be like so self-aware that you can tell, okay, well, I appreciate that, but I don't think that what you're giving is for me. You know, so that song came. They don't really know about us. Let them think what they want to think. Yep. They don't really know about. Let the haters hate how they gonna hate. That part. They don't really know about us. And that's where that one came from.
Exactly. Yeah. I know that's right. Exactly. Yeah. And I mean, you're exactly right. Where it's like you have to know yourself. You have to know what's best for you. And a lot of times, what you were hitting on is a lot of people are projecting their own fears and their own insecurities and what they've been through onto you. Right. Which is, like you said, respectfully, not mine. Right. And you can keep it. Right. Respectfully.
Because imagine how many times you could have projected, like me being a domestic violence survivor. What if I would have came out, no, don't date him because he... Yeah. You know, what if I would have given that energy off like on my daughter or my little cousins, and then I helped them, you know, miss something that could have been really good for them. Right. You know, so even in giving advice, be careful what advice you give, because you could be steering somebody away from a blessing or into a pothole. Like, you know, so we have to be careful on both sides, because they don't know.
No, that's a fact. They don't know, and you know, you need to get to know.
Right. Exactly.
Absolutely. So, talk to me about "Don't Worry."
Okay, so "Don't Worry." This is my son's favorite song. I give this song the least amount of attention. It's like, you know,
so I need to really go listen to it for sure. Okay,
but it's a good song. This was it was also produced by Black Thompson. He did my first 2 singles. Okay. "Don't Worry" was a message to my husband. Okay. So it was just, and we weren't married then, but it was just a message, you know, for him. Don't worry, I'm gonna be here for you. Like I'm gonna have your back. Okay. You know what I mean? So it was more along those lines, because he was like, right, I don't want it. Like, we could kick it, we can hang, we can go have dinner, movies, but relationships, love, I'm cool on that. Right. And so me, you know, I'm gonna just be his friend, because that was what I was being told when I prayed. Okay. Just be his friends. You know, don't worry about it. Yeah. And so I wrote that for him, like, don't worry, I got you. I'm going to have your back. I'll always be around.
I know that's right.
You know what I'm saying? So I spoke that up, because I'm still around.
Right, period.
We married now.
Okay, I's married now.
I's married now.
Okay, yeah, I know that's why I'm about to go listen to it, especially it's his favorite song. And you not really playing it, I need to go listen to it for sure.
And it's a good song. Okay. It's just, you know, I felt like they don't know, because that was my first one. It's a bop. Oh, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Sure. Then after Don't Worry came Watch Out. So it was just like, okay, I don't know. That's just, you know, I love all my songs, but I think that's like my the last one.
Okay, a little touch.
But it's a good song.
Okay, I got you. Okay, well, since you brought it up, talk to us about Watch Out.
Okay, so Watch Out was also for my husband. Okay. Because it says watch out, because you never know who's gonna love you, and you just might say I love you.
Okay,
because he was saying,
speaking all this.
Yeah, like I write my truth.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? And so he was just like, nope, F love, I'm cool, I don't want it. And then he ended up telling me he loved me. You know what I'm saying? And it's funny because J-Mo produced that track. Shout out to J-Mo, Grammy winning, Grammy nominated, like
shout
all
out
that.
to J-Mo.
Yeah, he produced that track. And my husband actually came up with the Watch Out, the main part of the song. Okay. You know, we were in the studio just listening to tracks, and he heard that. And so when he said Watch Out, I said, okay, let's go with that. Yeah. And then I just said, you never know who's going to love you. And I'm like, that sound like you. Yeah. So I just moved forward with it. Yeah. Okay. So that one is just for anybody who's ever felt like they're giving up on love, or that they, you know, some people feel like they're not going to find love. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, nah, watch out, because you never know who's going to love you. Right. You know what I'm saying? You just might end up saying, I love you. You know what I'm saying? So that's where that one came from. Okay. All my little love stories.
Yeah, it's okay. And I mean, you are also worthy of love, because I think that's what some people's, you know, what's holding them back. Yeah. Is, you know, not necessarily feeling worthy, or I'm not good enough in some way too. So
I know somebody's going to love you. And even if somebody's always gonna love you. You know what I'm saying? Just know that. Like, don't ever walk around feeling like you're not worthy. Yeah. I don't care what you've been through, what you've done. You know, just You're worthy of love. Yeah. Don't ever give up on that.
I know, that's right. Exactly. I completely agree. We're all worthy of love and all the good things that we want in life. Yes. Absolutely. As long as you work for it, of course.
Yeah, work for it and work at it.
Yes, that's important. That's super important. Lady Stand Up featuring the iconic Battle Cat.
DJ Battle Cat.
That's amazing. Shout out to DJ Battle Cat. That's an amazing collab, an amazing DJ, amazing West Coast, legend. Yeah. Talk to us about that one and how you got linked up with Battle Cat.
So we met Battle Cat a few years back through our friend Mark Knox. Okay. And how I got Battle Cat, so this was another shoot your shot. Okay. Because my thing is I'm not an opportunist. Okay. Just because I meet you, that don't mean I'm supposed to work with you. Or that don't mean I'm about to. I don't always shoot my shot. It was hard for me to give that shot out for myself with Exhibit. Okay. Because I don't ever want to come off like, oh, I'm just an opportunist. Yeah. But we had become friends and like family. And Battle Cat calls me and my husband Peaches and Herb. Okay. And that's so
that's super cute though.
And so my husband actually produced that track. Okay. And this is his first track that's received, that's been on a song that's actually out. Nice. And so one day I was sitting there listening to, the idea that I had, and I was like, I wonder if Battle Cat will get on here with me, like if we get like Talk Box or something. And my husband was like, well, try it and see. And my heart started beating so hard because we're sitting in the truck outside the house, and I'm like, I don't want him to think I'm just. And D was like, well, he really loves us. Like he deals with us like that. Right. Man, when I tell you my heart beats, my face got hot. Like when I get nervous, my face get hot. Okay. And so I took my phone out, and I was like, all right, I'm about to call Battle Cat and see what he say. Yeah. Whew, so I called him. He's like, Peaches and Herb, what's good? I'm like, what's up, Cat? I'm like, I have a question. He was like, what's up? So I have this song, and I ran it by him. He was like, I got you.
Yeah. Boom. Just that easy.
What?
That quick. That quick. Look.
Now, he don't work for free.
Oh, yeah.
But he didn't give me the
industry price.
The industry price. Right, he showed me so much love. Yeah. I said, baby, we need to go to the ATM right now. Right. Before he think about it. Right. And he was so cool. He was like, just send me the file. So we had our studio in Carson. And my cousin Benny, shout out to Benny, was Sons of Thunder Studios. Okay. He was working on it, mixing it for me. And he got the files sent to Cat. Woo, woo. Cat sent, when he sent them back, that's when I was like, oh my God. Shit, yeah. I got Battle Cat on the song. But also, it's my girl Miss Bliss from the city of Compton on there too. And my girl, your girl Dynasty, she's also featured on there too.
Shout out to Dynasty.
Yeah. So, but so that whole, but that whole mix, like Miss Bliss and Dynasty and Cat and my husband did the beat. Yeah. I was a kid in the candy store. I was like, woo.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Y'all better go stream that. Stop
playing. Go listen to that one. It's a ladies' anthem. Ladies stand up, and it's like empowering us. Like all my girls in my clique, we fine. We bosses. You know what I'm saying? Like ladies stand up. Yeah. Get your ass on the floor. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like celebrate yourself.
Get your ass on the floor. Go ahead and twerk. Twerk some. All right, okay? Come on. Twerk some. Okay. Yeah, because y'all can be twerking a little bit.
I do a little bit. You know what I'm saying? My little right leg gets a moving.
My little right leg. I know that's right. Look. When you got it, you should. And I think I saw a TikTok not too long ago where I think it was a gay dude, but he was saying, "Did you twerk today?"
Listen,
he said you need to twerk at least once a day. Get that ass in the mirror. Twerk
I said,
you know what? You're not wrong. Okay, that's empowering yourself. Okay, like you gotta,
I saw that say, well, I think I got up and twerked too. I think I was like, you know what? Let me go ahead and get up out this bed and twerk something real quick.
Twerk something real quick. Twerk something. So if you got a girl, you happen to randomly just see her get up and twerk. It might be just an empowering moment that she just needs to have.
Mind your business and let her twerk.
Mind your business and let it happen. It's probably gonna, you gonna benefit in some way too.
You might start twerking yourself. Listen, twerking is contagious.
Listen, if he start twerking, I don't know. It's a
whole
different.
Be trying to twerk.
Oh, look,
I'll be like, Mama. She got a cold twerk too. Her whole body twerk.
Oh no. You know what? Look, that's a whole nother thing.
That's a whole nother interview.
Now my whole body, her whole body twerking. Mama, have a seat, mama.
Don't have a seat. Go ahead and get it out.
You right.
Because she just be smiling. I'm smiling with her. I'm laughing and smiling.
Absolutely, you right. You still here, still alive. Get it out. It's
go ahead and twerk something.
Right.
Matter of fact, when we finish, I'm gonna call her. Did you twerk today, Mom?
I know that's right. Look. At any age, pump yourself
don't
up.
Don't ever stop twerking.
Yeah, be your own biggest fan.
Come on now.
All right. That's what I'm talking about. So, give me, if you have one, what's an affirmation that you live by?
I have so many.
Whichever one that comes to your mind first.
The first thing that came to my mind is I'm worthy. Because there was a time where I was seriously doubting myself. Oh, yeah. And there was a time when my vocally, I sounded really, really nasally because I used to get like these bad sinus infections. And I was thinking like people weren't going to, gravitate to my music. I'm going to just keep singing in church because, church always going to clap.
Oh, yeah, they're always going to love
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I
sing, baby. Let them use you.
Come on, the Sunshine Choir. Come on now. Let them use you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it was like church, it gives you the foundation, but it can give you like a, how can I say it? Not a false vision of yourself, but they going to clap regardless. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? No disrespect, but y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
But then I heard, like, for me, I would always listen to Erykah Badu because she has like a nasally sort of sound, but she has millions of fans too. Yeah, so nobody wasn't tripping off that. So I had to kind of tap in and say, you know what, Kijafa, just do what you do. And like during my journey, the sinus infections kind of just stopped, and I sound if I played you some music from back then, you'd be like
that's not you.
I see what you're talking about.
Right,
It was very distinct. You could tell the difference. So I had to really like grow into loving myself and loving my sound, and knowing that I'm worthy of being heard, and knowing I'm worthy of somebody making some tracks for me. Because I went through a whole little like almost a crisis kind of, but within myself, you know what I'm saying? Just fighting myself and battling myself. So I am worthy of every blessing that I've received. I'm worthy of that. I have to continue to tell myself, you are worthy of everything that you wish for and desire. You are worthy. Yeah,
no, that's a fact. That's a fact. And I think that's a great message to, anybody who's maybe feeling unworthy. Yeah. Or anything like that. And I think that's a good message to maybe somebody who's doubting their sound or doubting, are they going to like me? And, like you said, Erykah Badu is a great example. Because we weren't thinking that. Like, she's so unique. Her lyrics are so, real and deep and different. Yeah. Nobody heard any of that. So, like you said, just do you.
Do you. Yeah. That is another one. Do you. Yeah. Because somebody going to feel it. And somebody telling somebody you know.
That's a fact. That's amazing. That's a bar right there. Somebody is telling somebody that you're dope. Yes. That's amazing. That's amazing. And I wanted to ask you, speaking of Erykah Badu, one of his famous, now super famous at this point, and getting even more famous, background singers, Duran Bernard. Yes. His new album is out. Bloom. Make sure you go listen to that. It's amazing. And as you said, and as your son said, no skips. Yeah. Okay, 0 skips. Play that thing from start to finish. Just let it play. You're in his new video, Overqualified. Yes. Okay, all right. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, is that Kijafa?
Yes, that is me.
She over there playing the piano.
Playing
the piano.
Playing on the piano.
Right, playing on the piano.
On the piano.
Right, I got it. Look, it's all Hollywood. It doesn't matter. We just wanted you in there. Okay.
That was a fun thing too because I wasn't originally supposed to be the keyboard player, but my friend Mel, shout out to Mel from the Juice Joint.
Gotta love Mel. Yes. Gotta love Mel.
Yes, she does his styling and everything, and so she's always with him on tours and stuff. She was over the video. Okay. And my husband was the drummer, so she was like, "But Key, just bring something all black with maybe some floral print somewhere, just in case, because we have somebody, on keys, but I think he hadn't really confirmed or something, whatever the case was. So he did come, but he didn't have the right attire. So she was like, suit up. And I was like,
me?
What?
You're right, me.
So they put me behind the keys.
All right.
And, Duran, that's my brother. Yeah. Like, that's my baby. I love me some Duran.
I love him.
And he's so down to earth.
He's
like,
amazing.
He don't even be acting like, he's If y'all don't know Duran, y'all get to know him.
Y'all better get to know him right now.
So
I'm going to see him in June.
Are you?
Yes, I can't wait.
I gotta get my tickets.
I don't know. I think they're all.
Are they
I
sold
think
out
both.
already?
I think both. He added another show, and I think they're both sold out
Miss
now.
it again.
Yeah, well,
That's
you can
right.
go
I'm
check.
just go to his house.
Go and check. Right. Period.
Let's go over his house.
Yeah, that's fine. I just go hang out. Yeah, I know that's right.
Just call him and have tea or tea.
Yeah. Period.
But, no, for real. But no, we were in there shooting, and like the bass player, the real bass player, the guitar, like everybody's. So I told the guy that was doing the video, I said, please, if you get this close up, do not get my hands.
Yes, please.
Because anybody who knows
don't
know. She is not playing. And then, it's another. I'll tell you this after.
Yeah, we'll do it all.
It's a little secret.
Gotcha.
But so everybody laughed, and I'm like, no, I'm dead serious. Like, but I listened to the song, so I kind of had to, do the timing.
Yeah.
But it was just, I know my placement was just totally wrong.
Yeah. Gotcha. Anybody who really knows keys.
Yeah, they know they're gonna be like,
she playing. Yeah. But like I said, it's Hollywood. Everything's fake anyway.
But it was so fun. Yeah. And the song overqualified.
Listen,
I think that one is my favorite.
There's so many. I can name at least 5 right now. But overqualified is definitely one of them for sure.
That was dope.
Yeah, that's amazing. It's amazing to see how you just been able to, work with so many amazing artists and just make these amazing relationships, and like I said, just keep them. Longevity, that's important.
No, for real. It shocks me sometimes. I'm like, wow. Like I look back, and a lot of times I step out of myself and I look at myself as if Kijafa was somebody else, and I'm watching her journey with you.
Yes.
And I'm just like, wow. Like we really see the movement. Like we really see where she's come from, especially if you've been watching from the beginning when I first appeared on the scene, it's a lot of growth in there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I'd be just as shocked as y'all.
Yeah, I know that's right. But I think that's another amazing, observation or just statement that you're saying is that we should do really is kind of take some time to look and see how far you've come versus how far you have to go. Because we can always sit there and look at like, well, damn, I'm not where I want to be.
Right.
But we're also not where we were.
Hey, woo, child,
so, a lot. I think that's great. I think a lot of times we don't do enough of like celebrating how far we've come, celebrating the wins, the small wins that's gotten us to this point. Yeah. So I think that's amazing. That's a great thing to.
It's important.
I need to do that more myself.
No, really do that. Look, because sometimes, especially when you get in one of those moments where you're like you said, I'm not. Oh God, I'm trying to do this, and I want it, and you get to, putting yourself in a little slump. Step out and look back and be like, you know what? Let me keep going, because how did I end up there? How did I end up with Raphael Sadiq? How did I end up, doing this with, like, I finally met Snoop. You know what I'm saying? And I was going to school in Long Beach. You know what I'm saying? I think I've seen him at my school when I was in high school, but I don't even know if he was Snoop back then. Right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like all these years, and I'm finally meeting the D.O.G. Right. And his cousin is my best friend, but I never was like, hook me up.
Right,
I never did that. I just figured when it's my time to meet him, I'll meet him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, look back and give yourself some hand claps. Even when nobody else is clapping. Yeah. You got to.
Absolutely.
You got to, because it's easy to feel like, all right, I'm done. I can't do this no more. That's easy.
Yeah, or that, like you said, I'm just not, I'm not where I want to be, so I'm a failure, or I'm just not good enough.
You're right where you're supposed to be, and if you keep going, you're going to be even further than that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
But if you stop, you can definitely
You'll never know where you could have gone. You don't even, if you stop right now, if you would have took 5 more steps, that could have been the spot that's going to, elevate you. It's you just... Don't play with your own success. Be grateful for every little step. Everything that, I don't call them failures, just every little thing that wasn't meant to be. You know what I'm saying? Just because it didn't happen doesn't mean it's a failure. Like, you might have been being protected from something.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You know what I'm saying? People are, well, Kijafa, why you didn't do this when you was straight out of high school? Well, I feel like, to be honest, I'm very transparent. If I would have done it right after high school, I would have fumbled it, because my mouth was slick. Firecracker. Yeah. I done did some things. It was a time in my life you probably wouldn't have liked me. You know what I'm saying? Because I was You know what I'm saying? Stuff I'm not proud of, but stuff I will share because I went through that. And it's a part of who I've become now. Like it you can either stay there or you can grow.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I grew from a lot of stuff, and I'd be like, woo, I don't just clap for the good stuff. I'd be thankful that I didn't stay in the bad stuff. You know what I'm saying? So it's like you gotta take time and look back. You gotta clap. You gotta be grateful that you're not where you used to be.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a fact. I appreciate that. Thank you for that reminder and that message. You know, I need to hear it. You know, and I'm sure somebody else who's gonna watch this interview is definitely gonna, you know, need that message as well. And so you mentioned Mel. Shout out to Mel.
Yes.
And shout out to the Juice Joint. If you don't know about the Juice Joint, it's one of the most amazing open mics in LA every the last Monday of every month. It's amazing. And so you're one of the house singers there. So how did you get locked in with Mel and become one of the house singers? Because I love the Juice Joint.
Yeah, the Juice Joint. I always give props to the Juice Joint. It's THA Juice Joint in case you want to go follow.
Right. That part.
I was doing a gig, like this was before the Juice Joint, and Keenan was the drummer.
Okay.
Keenan was Lil Wayne's drummer.
Okay.
Right? And he came, this is before I was really gigging, I was new to it, and he told me about the Juice Joint.
Okay.
He was like, you should come to the Juice Joint. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, who is this? They're like, oh, that's Lil Wayne's drummer. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, you're like, excuse
you know,
me?
I'm like, what? You know? But I didn't go till 2 years after he told me that.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So when I finally went, me and my husband we weren't married then, but my husband, when we finally went, was in 2015.
Okay.
And this is when it was on Hollywood and Ivar at the study. We fell in love with it. This, it was just like something so different.
Oh, yeah.
Just hearing all the talent. That's where I met Duran. You know, that's where I met a lot of people that I've been able to work with. It was just like, whoa, like, I was exposed to so much talent and the musicianship with the. I was blown away. Yeah. So that, and it was every Monday back then, and we literally, we were literally there every. We did not miss the Monday for some years until I ended up having to go to the hospital and have surgery. But like we were there. So 2015 we began. Then we bumped into Keenan, and I'm like, oh, what's up, Keenan? He was like, oh, you made it. Yeah. And so when I first started the Juice Joint, I was so nervous to get up and sing, and Keenan pushed me. I didn't know Keenan from Adam. Okay. You know what I'm saying? But he pushed me. He was like, go sing. Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know what to sing. I was a little intimidated.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The Juice Joint is very intimidating.
Yeah, like but the thing about it too, it can be intimidating, but it's so welcoming. Oh, yeah. It was like whether you're professional or whether this is your first time ever touching a mic, we're going to embrace you. So that's how I was able to be there and still be there. And develop into, you know, the girl with the golden fro. I wasn't wearing my afro back then. Okay. You know, I was just wearing my ponytail and you know what I'm saying? So it was like I was able to develop, make some wonderful relationships. But yeah, Keenan pushed me, and so he was like, just go. Yeah. And he started playing Mary J. Blige, Real Love. Because I guess he was like, I figured she know that. Yeah. So it kind of loosened me up a little bit, and then the reaction from the crowd was so like, oh man, okay, I can do this. Right. So here we are, So from 2015, it's now 2025. We still there. We became house singers in like 2019, and then COVID happened. Yeah. Or 2018, one of them, but then still COVID was like right around the corner. So that was like very disheartening, and I was like, what we gonna do now?
Right. Yeah. And that's when Black Concert Series was born, and that's actually how I got introduced to Duran. Okay. You know, that's when Buddha and I think it was Buddha, Liv, they were all putting it together just to try to still keep musicians to be able to perform and things like that. And that's when I got introduced to Duran, and that's when I was like, what? Yeah. I'm like, excuse me? Listen. Yeah, and been locked in ever since. Ever since, for sure. No, that's amazing. That's amazing. And like you said, just getting on the stage at the Juice Joint, I'm sure, you know, for the first time is very, like you said, intimidating. So for somebody who maybe, you know, let's say somebody's watching this and has been to the Juice Joint, is going to go to the Juice Joint, they want to get on the stage, but they're too afraid. What would be something that you would say to them? Just
get up and get on the stage.
Right.
You know, the Juice Joint I really love because it's like we're in Hollywood, but we're not of Hollywood. That's you know, starve the ego, feed the soul. That's our motto. Get up and do it, because you never know how you will be received until you get up and do what you do. Right. Like, and I feel like the Juice Joint is a good place to do it because everybody's so encouraging. You know, it's not like a Hollywood and you gotta you know, it's not like the Apollo, you ain't gonna get booed.
Yeah.
Like, get up there and have fun. It's about fun and community and family. Like, once you come to the Juice Joint, we cousins now. You know, so I'm big cousin. I'm not gonna laugh. I'm a do what, you know what I'm saying. But if you ask me, you know, how did I sound, I'll give you that advice if you ask. You know what I'm saying. But no, get up there and do it. Like, do it. Don't leave this world not doing anything that you said you wanted to do. Like, if you say you want to try it, then try it.
Yes, absolutely.
Only good stuff.
Yes, right. Only good stuff, right? Yeah. We don't want to promote any dangerous stuff. We're
not trying the bad stuff.
Right.
Just the good stuff.
Just the
good
good
stuff that's gonna help you grow.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah.
No time like the present. They call it the present because it's a gift. Okay?
It's a gift.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay. No, that's great advice because, you know, like I said, it's very intimidating at the Juice Joint, but you can tell it's just so welcoming, and that's what I love about it as well. Yeah. Just, you know, you feel like family. Like you said, we cousins once you go to the Juice Joint one time.
We do free hugs. We make sure everybody get a hug. You haven't had a hug today?
I know, that's right.
We have a moment where we give hugs. Like, and even still, I still get nervous.
Yeah, okay.
I get nervous every time. But it's like, I thank God for, like, for instance, Asia. If you guys don't know, Vocal Fiend, that's another beast.
Amazing. She's a beast.
Yeah, she's a monster.
She's
not from here.
Yeah, another planet for sure. Yeah.
But I remember it was a night where Duran sang, Asia sang, this other artist named Dez, she sang. It was like all the heavy hitters sang, and people kept asking me, "Are you gonna go on the mic?"
Yeah, and it's like
this lady from Paris came and was like, I come here to see you. I love you. You're Afro. I come from Paris." And I'm like
what?
And I was like, no.
Yeah.
And so I walked back into the lobby, and Asia was standing there. She was like, "You're not singing?" Yeah. And I was like, "Nah." She was like, "You're doubting yourself." And I've never forgotten her, like, saying that to me. And every time I go into one of those modes, I can hear Asia now saying, "You're doubting yourself." Yeah. And I went up there and I actually sang, and I think that might have been the night that I did the best I've ever done. Like, it was one of those moments, like, okay, I'm glad I didn't, you know, just, it was so many people that were like, "Oh my God, like, thank you," you know. And so, you know, like I said, my gift is not my own. It would have been selfish for me not to, because I was so intimidated by the powerful. It was all heavy hitters that night. I was like, oh no, they don't need me.
Right. Oh yeah. No, y'all just shut the stage down. Y'all set it on fire. It's good. It's dead. It's done. Right.
Oh, she was like, "Nope, you're doubting yourself." Yeah. I was like, I felt like I was her kid. I was
like, you like, excuse me? Excuse me, ma'am? Get out my business.
No, for real. But she left an imprint on me that night, and I'm like, I'm so grateful. Yeah. Every time I get the chance, I tell her thank you for being who you are. And encourage you, you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, we never know, you know, those words of encouragement that we need or where they're going to come from or who, you know. So, it's very, very important. And I love Asia, and I can definitely hear her.
I love her.
Hear her saying that for sure.
You're doubting yourself?
Yeah, you're doubting yourself.
She even talks in, like, chromatic scales. Right. Like, I was like, how you sing that to me?
Right. How you climb the scale?
Right.
Wait a minute.
Was that a triad?
Yeah.
Was that a, like, you know?
Excuse me, ma'am. Like, what? No, that is so crazy. But you were talking about your gift not being your own. And I wanted to share your, because you're the first person actually, which is amazing, that a part of your bio you have like a mission statement. Like I don't think I read a good amount of, you know, bios and media kits and stuff like that, and I don't think I've seen anybody who has their own like mission statement, which I think we all should really have a mission statement for like life and like how we choose to show up and what we, you know, want to give to the world. How, you know, what code do we live by ultimately? Right. So I wanted to share yours. Okay. My mission: to share my truth through my music, to inspire the world through song, to uplift, empower, and encourage using the gift that God gave me, to let someone know that no matter where they come from or what they have survived, they can do anything they set their mind to. So how did you actually, I mean, I would imagine based on the conversation we've had up to now, it's just through your experience, but how did you come up with the idea, like, let me include this in, you know, my bio, my media kits? Like, why was that important to you?
I don't know if I saw someone else's and they had that, and I was like, well, that's a great idea, because I had never seen it. Because I remember when I was trying to come up with my my bio, Charlie sent me his, and I just kind of looked through his, and I'm like, okay, because I didn't really know how to make one that was powerful and correct, you know, for if I have to send it to somebody, I wanted it to represent everything me.
Right.
And I think he might have had one on his. I'm not sure. Don't quote me. But I think I'm pretty sure I saw it somewhere, and I just felt like I think it'll be great to put it on there, because if I'm sending it to people, they'll kind of know what I'm about. Like I can just put the titles of the songs and the discography, but and give them the bio of where it all started. She was born, you know, raised in church. She went to Jordan. But why do I do this?
Right.
You know, and I felt like that's kind of dope. I'm gonna go ahead and put that on there, and then it's a reminder to me too. It holds me accountable. Yeah. Self accountability is needed too in this industry. Oh yeah. You know.
In life.
Yeah, in life period. You know, so the days I feel like I quit, I got this whole mission statement I done sent to all these people, and then I'm talking about quitting. Like I really be on my own case. You know what I mean? So I feel like that it was something that would help people decide, you know, about me, like as far as booking or whatever. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I think I saw Charlie. I think he has a mission statement.
Oh, that's an amazing, you know, an amazing addition, like unique addition. Yeah. That you don't, you know, like you said, even if somebody like happens to be browsing, they just choose to read that part. You kind of like, oh wait, you know, and then that'll make you wanna, you know, read the rest. You know, depending on what you're looking for, what you see in it, you know, all that. But I think that's amazing. You know, maybe more people should have mission statements and things like that.
I think so.
I think so as well.
That'd be a great idea.
I think that's a great idea. I need to make my own actually. I need to make my own. So real quick, one last question. What is something, or you can give me maybe 3 if you want, but at least one. Okay. One thing that you want more of in 2025. We're almost at the midway of the year. What do you want more of from Kijafa?
What do I want more of from myself?
From yourself, your career.
Oh, okay.
Both.
Ooh. That's a good question. Right? What do I want more of? Just career-wise, more music.
Okay.
More creativity. Just not getting stuck. You know what I'm saying? And more of really. Ooh, that's a good one. First time anybody ever shut me up.
Right. She said that doesn't happen that often. He said, clock it, okay? Period.
Just really more creativity. Sometimes I get, you know, stuck in a certain, I want it to be this way, or it has to be, you know, I don't want to worry about perfection. I want to more of just put it out there. Just create
progress
it. Write
over
it
perfection.
down, record it, and then go from there. Like, quit being so hard on yourself. So more of me giving myself grace and trusting myself. Okay, that's what I say.
Okay, there you go. That's amazing. I think that's a lesson we all can take more of, giving ourselves some grace and things like that. That's amazing. Well, I just want to thank you so much for sharing your story and coming in and, you know, just blessing us with all these wonderful gems. I want you to let our audience know where they can follow you, where they can find your music, or if you have any upcoming performances, anything else coming up that you want us to know about. Let us know about that now.
Okay, well, my music is on all platforms under Kijafa, Kijafa. My Instagram is IMKIJAFA. And any performances, none right now. Okay. But I've been blessed to be able to do something that I've wanted to do for a long time, and that is start my own band. Okay. My own band. Not just, you know, work for hire, but my own. Okay. So we just had our first rehearsal last night.
That's amazing.
So you'll be hearing from Fine Wine.
Okay, Fine Wine. Okay. All right.
I'm named after a bottle of wine, so I couldn't, you know, put like the name of the wine because I copyright. Right. So I just said we're just gonna be called Fine Wine because we're gonna definitely get better with time.
Oh, that's right.
So stay on the lookout for Fine Wine, and we'll let you know when more performances are coming up.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about. I'm looking forward to seeing some Fine Wine. Okay, you know, I'm gonna be there. So let me know. Send me the info.
I sure will. Absolutely. And H is my MD. God
okay,
bless.
I know that's right. That's a great MD right there.
know,
there.
in
Shout out to
H,
we love you, man.
That's my dude. I love him so much. He'll always have a special spot in my heart.
Yeah.
And so he's my MD, my husband, and my drummer, of course.
Awesome.
Praying about my guitar and bass because a lot of people that I know are touring and stuff. So I'm just trying to be strategic and get it the people that are going to be able to be here and make that commitment. So, because there's so many that I love.
Oh, yeah. It's so many.
It's hard to pick.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sure. And, like you said, they're all, being spread around and, being able to use their talents.
Of course.
And get paid for it, which is important.
Exactly.
Yeah, super important.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing. So I'm looking forward to Fine Wine. So make sure y'all get on with Fine Wine as well.
We'll have an Instagram page soon.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Fresh.
Fresh. Okay, no problem. We'll definitely, I'll follow. I'll be looking out. We can promote some of that for sure.
Thank you.
Yes, no problem. No problem. Like I said, thank you so much. Thank y'all for tuning in. Make sure you like and subscribe, okay? We'll see y'all back for the next SODTR interview. We'll see y'all later.
See you later.